Let's draw vegetables. We're going to be drawing root vegetables, so for that we first need the horizon line. Root vegetables are vegetables that are under the earth because they actually serve as a root for the plant. What root vegetable do you think I'm going to do first? If you guess carrot, you sure were right. Let's start with the carrot, so sort of like a long triangular root. Now let's add the stem. For the stem, we're going to add two lines right next to each other instead of one, so it doesn't look like wires. So just make a line and double it. Just double all the lines that you make. Make sure you make the lines branch out. Now we're ready to make the leaves. The leaf of the carrot plant is very zigzaggy, so lines that change abruptly, kind of like the letter Z. So just make these zigzag lines that close from one end to the other to make that shape. Now let's add some details to the carrot root. So just a little bit of lines going across to give it some texture. I'm going to add these hairy looking roots towards the end. For the next root vegetable, we're going to do curvy lines, sort of in the shape of a heart, and this is called a radish. More curvy lines towards the top center, going across to give it that distinguished pattern of a radish. More curvy lines for the stem of the leaves, coming right out. And even more curvy lines to make the edges of the leaves. Can you guess another root vegetable? For this one, we're going to make two curvy lines to make a symmetrical rounded shape. This is going to be an onion. Close it towards the top. Now we're going to add some curves from top to bottom to give it that onion ring look. More hairy roots toward the bottom for details. Onion leaves are very simple. Just straight lines that go up and close them towards the top, and that's pretty much it. When drawing root vegetables, it's important for you to keep the size in mind. Notice that the carrot is the biggest one of the three. Then comes the onion, it's middle sized or medium sized, and the radish would be the smallest of the three. Alright, for the next root vegetable, we're going to make sort of stems. So just curvy lines, but make sure you double it so they don't look too skinny. Branch them out. And double them. Can you tell what I'm going to draw next? Potatoes. So just make these sort of free-form ovals, a little bit bigger than the radish and a little bit smaller than the onion. We're making small potatoes, not big ones. Let's add some texture by simply putting some dots. That'll make like the rough texture of a potato. Alright, the stem of the potato plant is pretty long. Just draw them as we learned before when we did the carrots. Lines that branch out and then double them. For the leaves, we're going to make these upside down heart shapes all over. And if you run out of space, because the plant is right next to it, you could just draw on top of the other plant and erase what's inside. Just make sure you erase what's inside the overlapping. Alright, one last leaf, and we'll put some hairy roots at the bottom of the potatoes. This is the part where you can get even more creative and think of things that are underneath the earth. Now it's time to color these. One of the biggest root vegetables that I eat is called yuca, or also known as cassava. Has this long wrinkly shape, so make sure you make your lines wrinkled up. And this is going to be the biggest root vegetables in your page. As a matter of fact, if it doesn't fit on your page, you can make it go off the page, as you see here. Finally, let's add some texture. So kind of like the carrot, but more wrinkled up lines to give it that rough skin. It has this rough waxy skin if you ever seen it in stores. And for the next root vegetable, it's going to be much smaller, wrinkled up as well. It's going to be sort of like a map shape. Think of a map, an island, how the edges are all wrinkled up. And it has this scaly skin or texture, sort of like a fish but a lot bigger. This is the ginger plant. Alright, this next vegetable has a very curvy shape. It is nice and long at the bottom and has a very beautiful red tone. It's called a beet. For the leaves, just look closely at all the steps that I make and draw along me. I know I drew a garlic already, but I really need one for the kitchen. Thank you. Oh, and one more thing, if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. How do you do that? By clicking like and subscribe.